downloaded the Buckeye Leafcast with your host, Andrew T. Evans, with special guest, Chris Stefanik.
We have the old Urban back, the guy who goes to like tear your heart out and stomp on your throat. What happens if we've got the old Urban back and the team follows his lead?
Look out. Look out, dude.
I mean, that's kind of because, we haven't had our, Hall of Fame coach this year. We've had some shell of that guy. So I don't know, man. Well, I think there's hope. I still think Michigan is the better team right now than Ohio State. And I still, at this point, if I had to, gun to my head, who's winning the game, I would say Michigan's going to win it. But coming into this game, I thought that not only was Michigan going to beat Ohio State, but they were going to embarrass them. I really did. I thought Michigan's defense was going to dominate Ohio State's offensive line. And they were going to roll over like they did versus Purdue and just run up the score. They were going to be in the fetal position while Michigan was just celebrating on the block O out there, and I really thought Michigan was going to embarrass them. Now I'm like, I don't think they're going to embarrass them. I still think they're going to win, but I actually have hope that they could pull it out. I'm like, hey, Michigan looks like the better team right now, but the better team doesn't always win, especially in this series,
2016 style. I mean, let's face it, man. That Michigan defense 2 years ago was lights out, just like they are right now. I mean, this defense is lights out. But luckily, much like 2016, the Buckeyes got this one at home. I think that's kind of going to be their one saving grace if they can pull out this win. But that's still a little ways off. We still got at least one more game until the smelly rodents invade the horseshoe. But to your point about, Urban looking like the Urban of old, maybe we're finally seeing him kind of recoup after all of this. The team is recouping after all of this, going into this past Saturday, guys like Pete Werner, Demetrius Knox, Isaiah Prince, Draymond Jones, they're all sitting here saying, yeah, you know what? The defense, they were out there having fun. They were yelling and whooping and celebrating, and they were back to kind of just having fun and just letting loose and just letting it go. And I think that the end result was what we saw on Saturday. These guys, they're back to having fun. And Urban even said today during the presser, believe it or not, I'm actually a halfway fun guy. He did. He's like, hey, believe it or not, I actually can have fun. I'm actually a halfway fun guy. Once again, maybe tongue in cheek, but I think some seriousness to it. And if Ohio State, Chris, can adopt that mantra, like you just said, if the team can follow suit, if the team can Urban, he is the leader, right? Obviously. I mean, he's the leader. And if he is the one who's like, you know what, guys, screw it. Let's have fun. I'm sick of this, all this preseason crap, all of this other crap. We've been way too uptight. Let's just go out here and have fun. Screw what the results are. We're just going to have fun. I know you guys can do it. I'm going to lead you. Let's get this thing rolling. If that's the case, and if they can approach the Michigan game in that regard, and not only the Michigan game, but a game coming up this weekend against a Maryland team, Chris, that, quite frankly, I realize they're a 5-5 football team, but, let's not overlook the Terrapins, especially on their home field. We'll get into that here in a minute or two, but, if they can adopt that mantra, Chris, I'm with you, man. Let's kind of slow our roll a little bit and thinking that, the smelly rodents can come in here and roll all over the Buckeyes.
Yeah, would it be surprising if Maryland won? Well, yeah, it probably would be surprising, but would it be?
I think so, yeah.
Would it be like I don't know, like crazy. No, it wouldn't be crazy. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to have like a Purdue style beatdown, but like pull out a last second, go for two at the end of the game, win it kind of game. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. I mean, they're 5-5. They've, I mean, they haven't, let's see, who have they beat? Let's look at the schedule here. I mean, this is a team that's got a lot of talent on it. They've just been going through, they had that controversy and DJ Durkin getting fired and that horrible, tragic accident. But I mean, this is a team that beat Texas to start the year.
Yeah.
Beat Minnesota like better than Ohio State, they beat them by 29 points. I guess they pounded a bad Illinois team, but yeah, I mean, they, even in their losses, a lot of those were, they were right there with Indiana, got hammered pretty good by Michigan State and Michigan, but those are two quality ranked opponents. Did get shut out by Iowa. That's not really cool.
Yeah, but Maryland has been so weirdly up and down, like so weirdly up and down. Yeah, I mean, they beat Texas, 2 straight wins over Texas. Yeah. I mean, seriously, the Fighting Tommy Herms, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Tommy Herms between between Zach Smith and Maryland Terrapins, he's got all kinds of problems.
Did you see all of that stuff coming out on Twitter? Man, Zach Smith is just letting loose.
He's not bitter.
Did you hear about this stuff?
I'm at the point where I don't know that any of these guys are really good guys, right? So I hate to take sides in this, but I am just popping some popcorn and enjoying the show.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just sit back. Let's enjoy the show. But this is crazy because, dude, like in all of this Zach Smith stuff, I thought, call me crazy, that like Tom Herman's wife was, I don't know. I thought there was something to do where like Tom Herman or somebody was coming out on, Zach or Courtney's side. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about right now. I'll be honest with you. But I mean, there was something to where, Tom Herman seemed to be like on either Zach Smith's side or Tom Herman's wife was on Courtney Smith's side and all this kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden Zach Smith's like, oh yeah, Tom Herman. Yep. Saw him cheat on his wife. Yep. I saw it with my own eyes. And it's like, dude, Zach, no offense. What are you doing? What are you doing, dude? Just shut up at this point. No offense, Zach Smith, shut up. Your deal is done, okay? I hope you can go and find a job somewhere because you're Earl Bruce's grandson. And by God, all of us Buckeye fans, we loved Earl, as I'm sure you obviously loved Earl because he was your grandfather. And you, of course, knew him better than any of us did because that was your grandfather. But, I mean, at this point, Zach, just chill out, man. Chill out. What are you trying to achieve here on Twitter? Seriously.
Yeah, it does. I mean, how does this help Zach Smith's position?
I don't think it does.
I mean, I think it makes it hit worse.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it matter if Tom Herman cheated on his wife?
Exactly.
You're just putting your name in the paper in a negative light, associating yourself with more mudslinging, more negativity. You would have just been better. And it's one thing like if, Tom Herman's wife didn't know that her husband was cheating on him, that would be good to, and you don't have to go in the papers and say it. You could just call up the wife or send her a text or something and be like, hey, I just thought you should know that, Tom's running around on you. But obviously she knew because it's like the way Zach Smith says he knew is that Tom Herman's wife told Courtney Smith that Tom had cheated on her numerous times. So she knew. So it's like, okay, well, what's the point of all of this? It's ridiculous. And this is, I mean, I'm assuming, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming that Tom Herman has kids. And if so, I mean, I know one of the things Zach Smith, he complained about was that his kids were hearing all of this stuff about his parents being like, drugged through the mud in the national media. And they were, he felt really bad for his kids. And now he's doing this to Tom Herman's kids. Maybe they don't have kids. I don't know. But, at any rate, yeah, I agree with you. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
It's just weird. Like, it's just at this point, it's just like, okay, you're bitter. You've gotten some, what do I want to say? Validation about the fact that the courts are kind of siding with you, I don't know. It's just this whole thing.
Seemed like it.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just, it's weird from Zach Smith. Now it's getting to the point where it's like, all right, dude, like, I get it. Like, you're pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're pissed. But me, quite frankly, I'm not taking to Twitter to air my grievances. But you know what, Chris? This is the day and age we live in. You must take to Twitter. You must get on YouTube. You have to go on Facebook. Right. You have to, all this social media crap. You have to do that, or else your claim is not valid. And it's like, come on, Zach. But
so I said I wasn't taking sides. I've decided I'm going to take sides. I'm looking, and yes,
all right.
Tom Herman does have kids. He has 3 kids, and he was cool enough that he named one of his sons Maverick. He has a son, Maverick Herman. I'm taking his side.
So wait, you're taking
I'm taking
Zach,
Tom Herman's side. You named your son.
You're taking Tommy Squirms' side.
Yeah. No, I'm not really.
Take the Hermster, huh?
I'm not really, but wow, that's pretty fun. but yeah, I mean, right now Zach Smith is a total hypocrite because he was talking about how terrible it was that his kids were having to see their parents go through all of this, and now then he's doing this to Tom Herman. So, in addition to everything else that you could label, Zach Smith, now you can label him a hypocrite.
What is the reason? What is the reason,
Courtney Smith,
Zach Smith?
Courtney Smith is the one. Well, shit. There was something to do with Tom Herman's wife was involved in Zach Smith getting into trouble. I have to go back. I haven't been following it that closely. I just read a couple of tweets and laughed at it, but
I'm looking at Zach Smith's Twitter timeline right now, and there's so much crap on here. I don't even really feel like reading all of it. I mean, I don't even know. Like, I have no idea what he's... Oh, I see something here. This is interesting. Remember when you were I'm going to read this verbatim. All right, here we go. This is according to Zach Smith's Twitter timeline. Remember when you were with an Asian masseuse? Because I do at Coach Tom Herman. You're the biggest snitch alive.
Yeah, dude.
And also the biggest...
You're a hypocrite.
Hypocrite alive. Anyone
You're a moron.
Want to know all that I know about Tommy Boy? Contact me, LMAO. And then he posted something about he took like a picture of like on his cell phone and
his penis. Because he did do that, didn't he? Wasn't he sending pictures?
I don't know about that.
Pics to girls.
That I don't know, but I mean,
I swear to God, he was doing that. And then he had sex with a girl, a coworker in his office at the Woody. He ordered sex toys delivered to his office on campus. I mean, Zach Smith is a moron. I mean, come on.
This is what he said. This is what it looks like. Zach Smith is texting to Tom Herman. I'm now on a mission to expose the bitch you are, because boy, are you the biggest bitch alive. You lying, disloyal coward. You can't silence me. and never will be able to. So own your shitbag self, because now, after you decided to ruin me, I'm going to expose who you are, courtesy of Michelle. And then the next is a little kissy, winking with the heart coming out of the mouth emoji. And then after that, it says, and several coaches have reached out to me to expose you. Because as they said, who is he to condemn you when he wasn't living right? And they are so right. Send Courtney more money, bitch. I'm going to share everything about you, including all the pictures I've taken of the shit you did. So tell Randall and all your cronies, your spelled wrong, like you apostrophe R-E, cronies, to stop. Because I'm ready to expose the fucking cowardly bitch you are. Tommy Herm's response, okay, period. Cool. Hook 'em.
That's awesome. I love it.
Hook 'em. So, you know,
dude,
apparently...
I'm siding with Tommy Herms on this.
Whew, apparently,
Maverick.
They're sending
any response
money.
back, hook 'em to that.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You know what? Zach Smith's lost his damn mind, dude.
Yeah.
He's lost his damn mind. I mean, and that's just one. And there are a slew of other tweets that we don't even need to necessarily get into, but holy crap. Anyways, my goodness, dude. I mean, at this point, Zach Smith, yeah, just hang it up. Go home, you know. I don't know, man. Smoke some weed, do something, take some Xanax, do something to chill yourself out, because this is not doing you any favors.
Dude, he needs to start a new show. He needs to like take over for Jerry Springer.
Maybe that's it.
Like Jerry, do you need some time? You want to take a little bit of leave? You need a vacation. I'll run the show for you while you're out.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? We've got a big game coming up here this Saturday, Chris. I mean, you know, the Terrapins on the road. You look at Maryland, not exactly a team that jumps out to you because of their 5-5 record, but as we just stated, there's some games here that Maryland has actually won. And do the Terrapins got you a little bit worried walking into College Park this coming Saturday?
No, not really. I mean, they do. They're okay. It's interesting. Like, you know, like they're the 18th team in the country rushing the ball, 234 yards per game. You know, versus an Ohio State team that has had some pretty bad moments stopping the run. You know, but yet their passing is 131 yards per game, 124th out of 129 teams. Andy, 129 teams, they're 124th passing.
Yeah, they're bad.
So I mean, you just stack the box and say, dare them to throw, just dare them to throw. You know, and overall they're 99th in the country in overall offense. So overall they're bad offense, even though they're good at rushing.
Very good.
Defense is decent. You know, I mean that's. They're 55th in points per game. Pretty good pass defense, 18th in the country in pass defense, just giving up 181 yards per game. You know, so overall a decent defense and a pretty good pass defense. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what Ohio State can get going. They're, you know, middle of the road rushing defense at 64th. So, you know, if Ohio State can get Mike Weber 100 yards versus the number one rush defense, I think they should be able to, you know, continue making improvements in the ground game that they've, you know, had the last 2 weeks versus the 64th rush defense in the country. But yeah, no, I'm not worried. I mean, they're, you know, like you said, they're weird, but I mean, it is a program in turmoil, talented team, but a team in turmoil, and be a good job for somebody to take. I think that's not like really a rebuild job. You can come in there. I mean, the only downside to it is you're playing in the Big Ten East, which is probably the toughest division in, you know, all of the college football. So that's the downside to it. But the team's got a lot of talent, and it's in a rich, fertile recruiting area of the country. And, you can make some noise at Maryland. You can win some games at Maryland. So be interesting to see who gets that job.
Well, what's going to be interesting is the fact that they are 5-5 right now, and they've got 2 games left, Chris, to try and become bowl eligible.
Oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. It's Ohio State and Penn State.
Ohio State at home, and then Penn State on the road.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
In University Park. So, and they've lost 3 out of their last 4. Yeah. But, I mean, we're talking about a Maryland team, Chris. I mean, they beat Texas the last 2 years.
Right.
Then they lost to Temple. Chris, they lost to Temple at home 35-14 by 3 touchdowns. They lost to Temple at home.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they've lost 3 out of their last 4. Pretty much gotten clocked, except every of their 5 losses, they get beat up pretty bad.
Yeah,
I mean they've been beaten pretty bad, except for this last loss on the road in Bloomington to Indiana on a last-second field goal. This is a Maryland team that you wouldn't think they should expect too much trouble from, but interestingly, you were just mentioning some of their stats. This is a pass defense, Chris, that's allowing 181 yards a game. And Chris, if I can mention this, they are not only tops in the Big Ten, but tops in the entire country with 17 interceptions on the year.
Right.
Maryland is the number 1 ranked defense as far as interceptions are concerned in the entire country. So
yeah, and let's not forget, Dwayne Haskins has looked mortal the last couple games. He didn't have a Heisman-like kind of game versus Michigan State. Now, granted, Michigan State, it's pretty good defense, but they're not really a great pass defense. And granted, it was below 40 degrees, but yeah, he looked.
You know what?
I mean, if it was Braxton Miller, we would have never said a word. We'd have been like, 200 and some yards, whatever. But he's not looked amazing passing the ball the last couple of weeks, and they're going against this team that's got 17 picks. You come out and drop like have a 3 interception kind of game, including like a pick 6 or 2 in there. Anything can happen.
Oh, well, if he throws not only 1 but 2 pick 6s, I mean, even though, yes, against the number 1 ranked intercepting team in the country, yeah, Dwayne, you can take yourself right out of the Heisman. I mean, against Michigan State, though, yes, against one of the not so great, pass defenses in the country. I mean, he went 24-39, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, was sacked a couple times, not necessarily his fault. But you're right. Last couple of games, heck, you can even go back to really probably the Indiana game in Minnesota when he threw for over 400 yards each game, but he didn't look exactly crisp, especially against Nebraska and Michigan State. His completion percentage, pretty low. This past weekend, willing to give him a pass because, like you said, it was cold. But nonetheless, this is a game maybe Ohio State tries to come out and run the ball a little bit more. And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen, Chris, is that Urban is going to say, we are going to throw the friggin' ball all over you because your passing defense is ranked so high. I'm going to prove to you that your passing defense is not as good as the statistics say that it is. And I think Dwayne goes nuts. He throws all over the place. He throws for like 400 plus yards. throws 4 touchdowns. I think he'll mix a pick in there. But otherwise, Ohio State, big win in College Park, 42-13, mark it down. There's my prediction.
Nice. Yeah, I think that Urban's going to try to establish the run. Haskins could have a 400-yard game. He's been known to have those. And you're right, this team has a tendency to get whooped. This team being Maryland, when they get down, they don't lose close games unless they're playing Indiana, apparently. So, I could see them laying it on them, but I think they're going to try to establish the run. I think you're going to see Tate Martell early and often work that in. And, I think Ohio State gets it done. I think they're going to give up some points. This is a team that's gotten some points versus some folks. They got 21 versus Michigan. And I think, Michigan's defense is quite a bit better than Ohio State. So,
yeah,
I'm going to say 38-20. I think that seems like a reasonable expectation. The spread is 14, so I've got them beating the spread at that 38-20, as we both do. So, but that I could definitely see either of these happening. I really don't think that it's even going to be close. I don't think Ohio State's going to lose, certainly, and I don't think it'll even be a close game. I think it's going to be, a 3-score kind of win.
Well, that's where I have it too. So,
yep.
Hey, we'll find out this coming Saturday. But above and beyond that, sir, before we jump off the microphones, anything maybe we didn't cover about the Michigan State game, or anything we didn't cover about the upcoming Maryland game, or anything maybe we didn't cover about Zach Smith and Tom Herman, or any other Twitter wars going on?
Yeah, I'll just throw out. There's a lot we didn't cover. I've got pages of notes that we just didn't cover, but
you've always got pages of notes.
So there was things like, we another game where we won the turnover margin 3-0, pretty nice. Probably the best time of possession victory, time of possession stats that I've seen
TOP.
all year.
Yes.
37 and a half minutes to 22 and a half minutes. And think about this. How did it get to that? Well, Ohio State rushed the ball 45 times, and a lot of it, was in the fourth quarter running out the clock. So like waiting to the last second, right? Meanwhile, out of 66 offensive plays, Michigan State, they had, let's see here, 30 of their 66 offensive plays were incomplete passes. 30.
Wow.
So that's why they lost. When you have 30, basically half your plays are incomplete passes, you're not going to win the time of possession too much. So that was just kind of an interesting, that jumped out at me when I'm looking at and they hardly ran the ball, 18 attempts, versus Ohio State.
I know Rocky Lombardi led the team with 3 carries for 49 yards. Is that not crazy?
Yeah, but they gave up on, basically the running backs got nothing. I think it was 9 attempts for 5 yards or something for the running backs. And they had that, that Rocky Lombardi play just kind of caught the defense with their pants down. I don't know what happened there, but he had a convoy of blockers. He's out in green space with 3 blockers. I'm like, wow, was that the perfect call, or did they just did 4 guys have blown assignments? What the hell just happened? But
this is perfect play.
Yeah, I think it was just perfect play. Just kind of a
47-yard run. 47-yard run. He had 2 runs for 2 yards after that. I've kind of mentioned it. The Tate Martell thing, Tate Martell came in and they used him, and I got to tell you, man, he had that zone read for 5 yards, his very first play down at the goal line, and he puts the ball out there for the running back, and I'm watching the defensive end. The defensive end is like, I don't know what to do. Should I take the quarterback? Should I take the running back? I go, oh my God. And then, they get 5 yards out, and it was just it completely took the defensive out of the game. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot just how great that was in the JT Barrett era, where the defensive end just never knew what to do. And JT was perfect at reading him. And, and of course,
when Haskins tries to do it, they just take out the running back and you're stuffed for -2 yards. There's no hesitation, right? So that was kind of, I'm like, man, I will say this. The running game looks a hell of a lot better with Martell in there. But what are you going to do?
When you go to a read pass option on the goal line.
Yeah. But, when they're not running the ball with Tate Martell, what you're seeing is they're using the tight end like a fullback. He's being the lead blocker, and they're just running straight behind him and doing a more just running it straight, getting rid of those RPO plays, and it's working. So, those are the things the main things. I mean, there's a bazillion other things we could talk about, but those are the main things that I saw that we didn't mention earlier that were just, interesting points to note from the game.
Well, nonetheless, Buckeyes, big win. Got a big game coming up this Saturday in College Park to take on the 5-5 Maryland Terrapins. Should be a win, as we both are predicting right now. Very solid win for the Buckeyes before they take on who in 2 weeks here in Columbus, Ohio. So, Mr. Stefanik, why don't you tell the peeps out there where they can catch you other than this illustrious, grand Buckeye Leafcast podcast?
Absolutely. So Choice Conversations is a personal development podcast that I host. Come check it out. I'm found anywhere where you would find podcasts, or you can go to choiceconversations.com or just do a Google search for Choice Conversations. Come check it out, and I will help you to improve your life. Check it out.
Hit him up. He'll improve your life, because not only is he going to tell you the secrets of life and tell you how to better your life and become a better person, but seriously, how to become a better Buckeye fan and not want to, jump off a bridge when it comes to a 49-20 loss over Purdue. This is what the intergalactic Buckeye fan can do for you. He will improve your life in so many ways, folks. I'm telling you what, I read the emails from Mr. Chris Stefanik that he sends out to all of his subscribers. You read these emails, it's going to enlighten you in one way or another. I promise you that.
Well, thank you, sir. That's very kind.
Absolutely. I only mean it because it comes from the heart, brother. You my boy, Blue.
Bring a little tear to my eye.
My boy, Blue. This edition of the Buckeye Leafcast also brought to you by Christie's Cleaning Services, LLC. It's not clean until it's Christy clean. Be sure to visit her Facebook page at Christie's Cleaning Services, LLC. Also brought to you by Columbus Wired, for your source for Central Ohio sports in and around not only the Central Ohio area, but above and beyond the entire state. Be sure to check us out at columbuswired.net. So there you go, Mr. Stefanik, you and I, big weekend upcoming against the Terrapins. We both have a big win, and I am certainly hoping that we will both be right in our prediction, and I have a feeling that we will. And if we're not, then I'm probably going to have to talk to you and have a choice conversation about what the hell went wrong with Ohio State not beating Maryland this coming season.
You will need some personal development if that happens.
I think we all will, dude. Seriously. All right, brother, on that note, let's leave them like we always do. Oh, wait. Go Bucks.
I want to go back to Ohio State, to old Columbus town, to the stadium to hear the band, by far the finest in the land. I want